In today's video, we're going to be talking about the WordPress theme Elementor. Now, I've been using Elementor for a little while. It's not actually my primary theme I use, but I do have specific cases for Elementor. And at the beginning, I have to admit, it's a little bit confusing how to set things up. So what I've decided to do is create a full tutorial on how you can actually set up a website from start to finish using Elementor and Elementor Pro. Now, if you are thinking about building a website and you want to get some extra insight, what I've done is I've created a full blogging course from start to finish, how you can actually get set up, and I'll leave a link for that in the description. And if you're thinking about using Elementor Pro, I have left some links in the description too. It'll be much appreciated and you'll be helping support this channel. Right. So Elementor, now if you are watching this video, there's a good chance that you are confused in how to set things up, right? When I first started using Elementor, it wasn't quite as clean cut as I thought it would be. So that's why I'm shooting this video today. And if you follow it through step by step, by the end of it, you should have a full working website. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing today. Once again, if this is your first time on the channel, please hit the subscribe button. And let's get stuck into today's training. So I'm going to jump behind the screen. I've got a brand new WordPress website ready to go, and we're going to go ahead and build us a website. Okay guys, so here we are in the back end of my brand new website. If you want to see what it looks like, this is it. It's the default, I think it's 2020 theme for WordPress, and all I have is Elementor installed like so. Now, there's a few things to understand about Elementor. Now, Elementor is a plugin and it works on pretty much any WordPress theme out there, right? It's a page builder. So what we got to understand is some themes are based around Elementor, so they're easier to use with Elementor, while some are just made for the generic anything, and then you can sort of put things on top. So what I recommend you do if you're creating a full custom page is actually get a Elementor based theme, because it's going to make things a lot easier in the future. So what I would generally do if I'm building a website with Elementor is come to Appearance Themes, and the first thing I want to do is actually look up an Elementor theme. Now there are a few things. If you look up Elementor, there are a few, sorry, I gotta press add new. There are a few WordPress themes that are named around Elementor, Hello Elementor, Scalementor, that sort of thing. But the easiest and lightest website I've actually found, website theme, is called Astra. Now there is a Pro version, of course, but you don't need to have that as you've got Elementor Pro. So what I recommend you do is install the Astra theme. It is free to get in the free version, but you've already got Elementor, so that's fine. So once you've installed it, click activate, and now you will have a Astra theme installed. So if we refresh the my website page right now, you'll notice it looks way different, right? So the menu's changed, all the sidebars, everything. It's just a much easier website to actually work with, considering we're using Elementor. So what I generally do now is I will come back to the dashboard, and now I will actually add my first page, right? So on this first page, I'm going to create sort of the look and feel for the website, and then once I've created that, I'm going to next create pages for each one, right? So first of all, I'm going to click Add New on Pages, and it's going to bring me to this page here, which is cool. And then what you want to do is click Edit with Elementor, right? And it's going to open up the Elementor builder, and it should bring you to this page here. Now if you look on the left, this is the Elementor builder right here, and here's all the template. If you want to see what it looks like on full screen, you just click that button, and this was what the preview pretty much looks like, but you've also got a preview button down here. Now just sort of to let you know where things are, on the left we have this little hamburger menu. It's got where you can set your default colors for your website, and this is sort of like your color palette that you can have and use on all your different pages and builders. You've got your default fonts, your theme styles, right? So this is all things like your typography, your buttons, that sort of thing. The only thing I would really change on here is your typography. So you can either have the default theme, or you can have something like Arial, Tahoma. And if you look at all of the text on the page right now, if I choose a different one, you'll see it all changes. This is going to be sort of your standard typography for the entire website. Apart from that though, you're not actually going to change too much on this particular field. So I'm going to click X, I'm going to click Save Changes, and then it's going to bring me back to the Elementor menu. Now on here you've got all of your different elements. Some things to know if I'll actually show you those in a second. But here's all your different elements. If you're starting out brand new and you want something built real quick, what I recommend you do is always use a pre-made layout, right? Use a pre-made layout that's relative to what you want to create. You can always change the colors, the images, anything like that later. So to do that, you want to come to this section here. You've got a plus button here and a folder option. So what I recommend you do is click the folder option, which is add template. And then inside here, you have fully created pages ready to go. There's hundreds of them, all up in here. If you're using the free version, you'll probably only have access to 5. If you're going to use the pro version like I've got installed, you've got access to all the rest. Now, to use it, you can actually just hover over it. You'll see a little magnifying glass button. You can see what the page actually looks like. And here are full page templates, but if you only wanted sections of it, you could also add in just blocks, right? So if you wanted to piece together your own page, which is pretty cool. I always recommend starting out with a page though. That way it's just easier to see the final sort of look of it, look and feel, before you've actually even put any effort in. It's sort of just, it's a helping hand to get you where you need to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to scroll down a little bit, find a template I like. This one here is pretty cool, I believe. Yeah, I sort of like the look of this. This one here, potentially this one. So I'm going to hover over it. I can click on the magnifying glass to see what it looks like. And if I scroll up and down, you will see it's a physio website. It's pretty cool. It's like a pretty generic services type website. If I'm happy with it, I can press insert. If I want to keep looking, I can go back to library. So I'm going to go ahead and click insert. Now the first time you log in, if you've installed Elementor but you haven't connected it, you're going to have to connect it. So what I'm going to do is quickly pause this video and connect it to my account. And I have just connected it to my account. As you'll see, it's loading. It's probably going to take a few seconds like it did right there, but as you can see, it's all loaded, all ready to roll. Now what I can do is I can actually publish this right now, and I can actually show you what it now looks like. So you can see, have a look. It's going to open a new tab and show me what this page looks like, right? So that's real cool, super easy, and I've already got my home page. Right, now that we have this page ready to roll, now we can customize it to suit our needs. Now, depending on what your color scheme and things like that are, hopefully you've already got an idea. It's actually really easy to change things on Elementor, right? So the first thing I want to show you is these 3 different sections at the top. Layout, style, and advanced. And what they are settings that you can use within the page that can change specific elements, right? So let's just say, for an example, I click on this text right here. The layout's changed to content because we're working in a content module. And what I can do in the content is, this is where I can actually change the words. I can change, if they have a link, I can change the alignment, that sort of thing. All in here, the different types of HTML tags, if I want to make it a header, a paragraph, that sort of thing. So this is where we would put all of this basic information. The second column is where we're looking at the font style, right? The typography, if we're talking about the size of the font, the colors of the font, all that sort of thing. So for an example, if I click on this one and I click on typography here on this little pencil, it's going to give me all of the things that I can do to change it, right? So I can make it bigger and smaller. I can make it thicker or thinner in terms of bold. That's the different weights. And I can make it all uppercase, lowercase, that sort of thing. You should understand sort of the idea of it, but mainly the most important thing is we have the text, the font right here, which comes under family, like so. And that's pretty much where you can put it. And if you want to change the color, you just click on the color that's currently there, and you can change the colors around like so. So it's really, really, really easy, right? So that's the style column. Now it works the same for things like images. So if I click on an image, you'll see you can change the image here, you can change the alignment of the image, you can change the size of the image, stuff like that. And if I click on the style, this is where you can change things like opacity, if you change something when you hover over it, that sort of goodness. And the same goes for sections in general, right? So let's just say this light bluey type color here. What I could do is if I click on, if I hover over it, this little blue tab appears. If I click on the 6 dots, it's actually going to open the section layout. You can also right click on it too and click edit section. And if I go to style here, this is where I can change the background color, right? So that's pretty much the basics of it. The third tab is advanced, and that is actually where you can change the padding, the margin, and you can add in some custom code. If you're in the free version, I don't believe you get CSS, but that doesn't matter. There's more than enough to do without that. But pretty much margin is the gap above the type of thing that you're using. So if I'm editing this image, the padding is how much padding I want to have within this content section. So I'll give you an example. If I wanted to make the padding, say 50 all around, I can click that. If I only wanted to put it on one part of it, I could uncheck the link there, so it makes it separate. So as you can see, I've got a padding of 50 at the top. And then what the margin actually does is it's the gap above it. So as you can see, it looks pretty much the same here. It's a better example actually on this one. Padding at the top is between the first module, so I'll put this back, and margin at the top is actually the gap between the next module, right? So that's pretty much how that works. So that's the basic rundown of these three different columns. Now if I go back to our dial pad, we've got all our different modules in there, which I'll show you how to use in a second. But first of all, I just want to give you a few examples of how you can change things, right? So if you have this current theme, or whichever theme you've chosen on your dash, you must like the layout, which is really good because you can actually change what's there. So let's say I want to change the background of this image right here. What I would do is hover over it. You'll see the little blue box comes up. I'll click on the middle button, which is the edit section, and then I will come to style, and in here you'll see the background image, right? So let's just say I wanted to change it to this. I don't actually have any demo data for you right now, but this can be the example. And as you can see, it is put in there. It's not the right size, so that's why it's turned into tile. You can change the position of things like center, which will move it a bit. And you can change the repeat so it's no repeat, which looks a bit weird because the image isn't big enough. But you can understand how it works. So if I click back to this one is the actual right size. So it'll look much better. So that's cool. Now, what we can do if we want to change the logo, for example, so this one's Physio Care, you can just click on it, right? And it's going to bring up this box here. And all you need to do is click on that image section, and you can upload your own file and add it into there. And if it's too big, for example, you can actually make it smaller, or you can make it even bigger, or you can put in your own custom sizing. It's entirely up to you. And you've also got alignment here. This is actually a full width, so that's fine, but you've got the alignment there if you need it. Now for styles, you can change your max widths, things like that. Majority of the time you won't need it. What you might use though is a border, right? So if you want to put in a border radius of say 10, something like that, I'll exaggerate it so you can see what it does. So you can see how this has created the curved effect. So that's just the border radius of this particular photo, but we're not going to need it for this particular one. So let's just say we wanted to change the text. What you can do is just click on the section. It'll bring up this box on the left, and now we can change it. Mr. Dr. Phil Wilson is an expert at physio. So I'm pretty bad at writing as well, but just shows anyone can do this. Physio healthcare. So you get the idea. Everything you can add in here. I can be psychic healthcare. So everything's there. You can just change it. And one thing you're probably wondering right off the bat is, what does it look like on mobile? And there's a really, really good tool they have in Elementor where you can actually change everything live, so you know what it looks like. And that's this little button on the left, responsive mode, right? So desktop, tablet, mobile. So if I click on tablet, this is what it's going to look like on a tablet. Same with mobile, this is what it looks like. And you can generally change things on here. So if you don't like the width of it, the size of it, you can change everything there. So I'm going to go back to desktop. That looks good. Now let's just say I want to change the color of the buttons, right? Let's just say my color scheme is green, for example. What I could do is I could click on this button, and it's going to bring up the button module on the left. I'm going to change the text to free consultation. So that's, you can just change the text in there. It's actually got some default button colors here if you want to use them. They're quite easy to do. This is mainly for like making landing pages, I assume. So if I click on info, it's actually a blue. If I click on success, it's not actually working because my style is styled. So what I can do is just press clear. Okay, I'm going to come back to content. And what this is going to do is it's going to change the button colors. Most of the time you're probably not going to use this feature. I just thought it was a pretty interesting thing how they've created this. So they've got info, success, warning, danger. Obviously danger's red. So that's one quick way you can change it, but most people, what they'll do is come to style, come down to background color, and change it to whatever they want. So let's just say my color I'm using is green, like so, or darker green, maybe light green. That's really cool. And let's just say I wanted to use this blue, but the white didn't stick out enough. I can actually just click on the text color just above the background color and click black, and then it sticks out. So it's all quite basic. It's quite easy to do. And the padding, once again, is the spacing around here. I'm going to change this back to white. The spacing around here, if I wanted to make it a bit taller, I can press 40, bottom 40, keep it the same, and then maybe I want to make this 80, right? And it looks pretty weird. Obviously, you probably wouldn't use that big a button, but I'm just showing you exaggeratedly, if that's word, what it's going to look like. And then you've got your alignment and content. So you want to be on the right, middle section, and that's always relative to the section it's in. So if you put a button just here, it would be aligned along there. I'll actually show you. Let's just say I wanted to put a button in here. Button, I could drag it underneath this. See, it's on currently alignment left. If I press center, it'll go center. If I go right, it'll go right. And justified's the full width, I believe. So you can change everything there. Let's just say I wanted to, I'll give you a good example on this because you guys are probably playing with it right now. Let's just say I wanted to make it the same size as the other one. If you remember, the paddings were 20, 30, it's on link values, 20, 30, 20, 30, like so. And then I just need to change the typography. So I'll make the text a little bit bigger. Oh, that's way too big. Somewhere around here, like that. Letter spacing, it looks like it's got a bit of letter spacing there, like so. And then I can go ahead and I might even change the color just to show you guys. I want to just make sure you guys know enough so you're not scratching your head on what you're doing. See, now that's changed. Now that it's all congruent, looks pretty good. And you can get the values there as well. The spacing looks a little bit off, but that's cool. You get the idea of it. Right, so what's next? Let's just say we've gone ahead and changed all the colors. We've changed the images. This is just a transparent image of the guy, so you can change that. Let's just say you don't want this section here, right? This section, you don't have anything to put there. You don't have any testimonials, whatever you want to put in there. You can actually delete the entire section just by coming here and pressing X. Now it's gone, very easy. But let's just pretend for a second that you want to add in another section, right? There's something that's missing. You've taken out that dark blue one, but you want to put another one in. What you can do is if you hover over any section, you'll see the light blue section module. And this is where you can add a section, right? So you can click there, and then what you can do is you can either come back to your pre-made blocks on the left, and then you'll see all these different blocks. I recommend using these just because it's going to save you a ton of time. But choose whichever one you want. Maybe I want this one. I'm going to insert that, like so. It's only going to take a second. The really good thing about this compared to building your own ones as well is they've already got all of the mobile responsiveness ready. So it's going to save you a long time in the long run. So this is in here. It's pretty dark. You know, I can't really see much because it's black. So what do? We come and click on the settings module, come to style, and then go to color, and then we can change the background color to whatever we want, right? So that's all there. Then we can change the fonts, everything, because the fonts aren't going to be the same as this, as you've imported a block, but you can change them easily by coming to style, typography, and then choosing whichever one you want there, like so. Right, so that's pretty much it. You can change all these, move things around if you want, and it's pretty basic from there. It's just a matter of going through and creating these pages, right? Now what I could do is, as this is the original, you can see it's a dark blue and it's got this random thing. What you want to do is click update. And what that's going to do is it's going to update your theme, so I can reload it. And here it is. Here's our new looking website. Obviously it's not as well manicured as the last one, but it still looks pretty good. So from here on in, it's just playing around with the basics of it. So what we can do then is if you're like, okay, this basic theme, this basic layout is what I want to have, you can actually go ahead and you can save it as a template, right? So let's just say what I want to do is I'm just going to change one letter. This is the easiest way I've found to do it, but this green button will come back. If you click Save Options, you'll see Save as Template. All right, so I'm going to click that, and I'm going to call this Home. Right, and what this is going to do is it's going to save this entire page as a pre-made layout because I've customized it to my liking. So when I create my next pages, I can actually just paste this entire thing in there. Now, if you're using one of the pre-made packs, they've already got most of the pages, but it's just an idea how to get it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to exit back to my dashboard. I'm going to update it once again. If it comes up with that notice, it just means you haven't saved it. And I'm going to go back to my dashboard. And inside here, everything's pretty good. The only things we need to play with is the permalinks. At the moment it's Elementor 12, it might be 4, it might be 20, whatever it might be for your specific thing. This is the URL. So as you can see, my website I've created, freshsidehustle.com/Elementor12. I'm going to call this home, okay, and I'm going to press update. So now it's actually a home page. So if I click on it, it's going to show me the exact page. So this is my home page. But what we have to do just before we move on is actually make this our static homepage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this WordPress button. It's all done and all published, everything like that. And what I want to do is come over to Appearance and come to Customize. Okay, so we've got a few extra little things I want to do before we move on. And what we can do is come down here to Homepage Settings and click Static Page. And what we can do there is we can choose that page. I haven't actually renamed it yet, but I will in a second. And then press Publish, right? So that's all done. If we go to just the URL by itself, this is now the home page, which is really cool. So now we'll carry on. So I'm going to get out of here. I don't usually do much in that page, but once I come back to pages here, I can just click on Quick Edit and I can call this Home. Or I could call this Dr. Phil's Psychic or something. PSYCHIC. Is it like that? Something like that. So that's pretty much how you do it. Now you can see it's the front page, so that's ready to go. So what I would do now, generally, because I have my my page ready to roll, I can reload it again just to show you. This is the home page. If, say, I wanted to edit it now, because I've got the home page here, I can actually just quickly go edit with Elementor, and it's going to go back to the editing page. Okay, so it's super quick, super easy. And then once you leave, it's gonna, yeah, it's all gonna be updated. As you can see, I've got my menu page name here, Dr. Phil's Psychic. Most people will call it home. I just thought it'd be different. I'll probably change it to home so it's easier to recognize just now. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and delete the sample page. We don't need that, and I'll do all that stuff later. So the next thing we want to do, and what I generally do, is go ahead and create all the other pages I want for the website, right? So what I can do is I can come back to Edit with Elementor, and it's going to open up the Elementor page again. Now I'm going to open the templates page. I'm going to go a little bit faster here just because I want to speed it up. Don't want to hold you back for too long. Now, if you wanted to use your basic template that you've created, you can insert it here in My Templates. But usually these packs have a lot of things with it already. Does this have any other packs with it? Might not. What was it called? What you can do is use the search function here too, which is really cool. So it is called chiropractor. So I'm going to type in here Chiro. Okay, so that's the only one. So what I can do is come in here and press insert for my homepage template, and what I can do is click override, and what it's going to do is it's going to create the second page for me ready to roll. Now obviously I don't want it to look the same, so what I can do from here is I can click on add new section. I'll click on the templates, then I'll go on blocks, and I'll replace it with blocks that I want to have in there. That's going to, you know, make it look a little bit better. So for this particular one, I could have this one, right? Insert, just so it looks different, and then you can go ahead and edit it. Of course, it's all entirely up to you how you want to make it, but pretty much this is the basic things of it. So let's just say I want to get rid of this top one. Another cool thing with Elementor too is you can actually drag the widgets around, right? So let's just say I couldn't be bothered changing the color scheme of this because it's imported. I could just drag another one from around the page up there, which is cool. And let's say I wanted to delete this because I don't want it. I can right click on it and just press delete. So you can see you can change things. And let's say I want to put a background in here. Click on the buttons, click on style. I can probably put the same background image on there. So if I go to background, on the left here you can come to classic image, and then I can use that long one again, like so, right? And then that looks pretty cool. I'll probably just make this text a little bit darker, style, and then change the text color like so. So you can see how easy it really is with Elementor. I'm not going to go too much into creating a full web page, but you can understand how easy it is to build things, and you can just drop in modules, edit them as you need. And then once that's all done, you know, click publish. And just before I move forward, because I'm not sure how much you actually know about WordPress, I'm not going to create a full entire website here. I just wanted to show you how to create the pages and everything. So you can have a look what it looks like, but I'm actually just going to go back to the dashboard. But I'll just show you how to create a menu, right? So I'll come back to pages, I'll edit this and call this maybe the about section. So this is the slug, that's the title, update those. And if I go to appearance and menus, what I'm going to have to do now is create my new top menu. I'm going to call this just top, just something easy to remember. And then what I can do is call it my primary menu, and that's going to mean that it stays at the top the whole time. Once you've done that, what you want to do is come to the left and you'll see pages, and you want to click view all, and then you just want to highlight these two and press add to menu. And you can change the order if you want, and what it's going to do is it's going to change the order and what these are. So now I've got home and about, I'm going to click save menu, and if I come back to this page, this is actually a builder, so what I'll do is I'll click preview, and you'll see it's now home and about, right? So that's how you can change your menu. One last thing I'll probably cover is how you can actually change the my blog, right? So come back to your dashboard, come to customize, and at the top here, because my blog is called my blog, what you want to do is come to header, site identity, and here's where you can actually add a logo. I'll just use this guy's face for now. You'll have your own logo, no doubt. It's pretty creepy, but I'll use that there. Crop image. And now what you will see is there's my logo there, right? Real cool. And I usually will turn off the site title so that disappears. So that would generally be a logo, whatever it might be, feels psychic, you know, thing. Then once you're done, you can make it smaller and bigger as well, like so. But this is just a basic training to show you how to use it, and then press publish. And this has been going for about 25 minutes, so I think you guys get the idea of how to actually change things, right? So we've changed the menu, we've changed the, I'll just refresh this page to show you exactly what we've done. So I've created it from a blank template into a working template. You know, things are good. You've understood how to use buttons, change text, change colors, add menu items, build pages, change titles, change coloring of everything, add in sections, import templates. So it's all pretty basic. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to jump back to the camera real quick, and I'm going to talk about how you can actually get more of the free training so you can actually understand how to build the entire website. So I'll be back there in 1 sec. Okay guys, so that was an Elementor tutorial. Hopefully I didn't blab on too much. There's infinite things that you can do with Elementor. It's a pretty cool theme. Once again, it's easy to use. My daily driver is actually the Divi WordPress theme. I'll leave a button around here somewhere we can check out the review on that, and also the one on comparing Elementor with Divi. But Elementor regardless is a really good theme. And if you guys are brand new into the website building world, maybe you're creating a hobby project, maybe you're creating one professionally. I've actually built a load of professional websites for companies. I'll leave a training, a free training you can actually get into if you want to check it out in the description of this video. It's going to be really in-depth, so make sure you check it out. It's not going to be too long though, hopefully less than a couple of hours, and you should have a completely built website from start to finish. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, Elementor Pro, it's very good because there's things that you can't get on the Elementor free version, like opt-in pages, forms, things like that. Those are critical. Same with CSS. CSS is really good for getting those extra good customizations, but Elementor by itself is really good. You can use it for multiple things. Once again, if you're thinking about checking out Elementor, I'll leave a link in the description. If you use that, you'll be helping out with the channel. Anyway, I hope you guys have learned something. I hope you've seen how to use it and how you can actually use it in your own websites. But apart from that, thanks for watching. Make sure you check all the links in the description and subscribe if you haven't. I'm excited to see you in the next video, so I'll see you next time.